So, Coach, you mentioned having a pretty consistent schedule in the off season, and you mentioned things coming up and schedule kind of varying as that goes. Would you say your off season activities, your off season duties are pretty consistent, like through this time of the year?
Pretty consistent. We know exactly kind of what a day looks like.
Mm-hmm.
We try to put together a calendar for different sections of the off season
Mm-hmm.
to kind of keep us on task. But there's certain things that are going to happen every day. Staff meeting, anywhere from 7:30 to 8:30 daily. We're going to meet as a staff and discuss our day. Mainly, we begin our staff meeting every day talking about the most important factor of this football program, and it's our personnel.
Uh-huh.
What's going on with our players. And we always have something to cover with regards to one of our players, whether it's an academic situation, personal situation, performance, just about anything. But we're going to start our day talking about our kids. That's the most important thing too. And then we kind of progress on our own. Once we dismiss, it's a lot of on your own time. And as we talked earlier, individual coaches at that point, mainly we are following up on recruiting duties.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be contacting head coaches, shooting out emails, personal notes, working with our admissions and financial aid office, making sure documents are in, or finding out what's missing, and just trying to bridge gaps during that critical time of late morning. And then there's the juggling of recruiting, no matter if it's the first half of the semester or the second half of the semester when you're finishing up recruiting, you still have to be able to balance taking care of home, the kids that you have here,
Yep.
71 that we have on campus, versus taking care of trying to create a class to come in and fill some of your needs.
Mm-hmm. And now with recruiting, are there any kind of dead periods in the off season where you're not really focusing on?
Not anymore. Again, part of the strategy moving forward, becoming a new head coach, is to really do a better job in the non-traditional recruiting season.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Division III schools in the state of Virginia and North Carolina are starting to do a better job in non-traditional recruiting periods, and we're doing the same thing. Really starting our late spring recruiting, getting in touch with our area head coaches based on the regions that we have by coach,
Mm-hmm.
and getting a list started of rising 2015 grads so we can get a jump on recruiting. And I think the main factor is really trying to identify players in your area and try to create a connection as we move into our season, and really try to attract families to come to our home ball games.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, you really have to do some recruiting up front.
Uh-huh.
During the late spring and summer of the 15 grads. And you're still trying to wrap up your 14 grads in that class. So it's just about organization and understanding where you're going to look and who you're looking for and who you're contacting. And Coach Henry's doing a great job coordinating that piece of it and distributing information out to each coach in his particular area. And then we just stay on top of it because, like I said before, we're going to meet on staff meetings, in our staff meetings, on personnel, whatever's going on that day, and recruiting.
Uh-huh.
Daily. Those are constants, day in and day out.
And then, so I'm not real sure on the NCAA rules on this. There are no real sanctioned dead periods at all in the
Division
NCAA?
III, we don't get into a lot of that in terms of, there's dead periods with juniors.
Okay.
But as we move into the new calendar year, you have an opportunity to start moving forward and making contact with your 15 grads.
Okay.
So we're not, like, say for instance, when we're out in November recruiting, we're not focusing and making phone calls to juniors.
Okay.
During that time, we're focusing on the graduating seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're starting to move into a different period, and we're able to reach out, gather information as we move into the summer months, and be able to get information out to the 15 grads at this point.
And then these offensive and defensive meetings you guys had today where you're reviewing film, how often would you say you guys do those?
That's a daily deal.
Mm-hmm.
During spring, that's daily.
Uh-huh.
As a staff, side of the ball, we're going to meet and we're going to watch film. Right now, we're starting to get back into reviewing practice now that we've stepped away from the spring and the intensity of that portion of it. Now we've had time for it to settle in, and at this point, moving forward, we will start to meet as a side of ball, offense or defense, special teams, and we'll go back through it.
Mm-hmm.
And look at all of our schemes and execution once again. Generally after lunch, it's all about players. At that point, our own players. They're coming in, workouts are beginning, things of that nature. If it's in the non-traditional season, we're preparing for a practice. If it's not in the non-traditional spring season, we're preparing for workouts and different type of interactions with our players up until 6, 7 o'clock that evening. So pretty consistent what we do day in and day out.